Good morning and welcome to the program. It's a Talk Sport on Global Television, and the King of Sport is in full flight. Anthony Momodu be my name, and I'm ready with all the big stories making the round in the exciting world of sport. And today is going to be very punchy, as I've got a very special guest I will be unveiling in the course of the program. But let's begin with the big stories that are making the rounds in the football world, especially when it has to do with the African continent and concerning your darling Super Eagles. Let's tell you that the Libyan Football Federation is panicking after being asked by CAF to submit a document relating to the cancellation of the AFCON qualifying Group D match against Nigeria after the latter refused to play the match after their plane was diverted to Al Barak Airport and held hostage for 18 hours without food or water. All right, my producer says I should go for a quick break. Let's go for a quick break. When we return, I will give you all the stories that are coming out from CAF headquarters. Stay with us. Welcome back to Talk Sports. As we were talking sports concerning Nigeria and Libya, let's let you in that the Libyan Football Federation is still panicking after being asked by CAF to submit documents relating to the cancellation of the AFCON qualifying Group D match after the latter refused to play the match after their plane, talking about the Super Eagles plane, was diverted to Al Barak Airport and held hostage for 18 to 20 hours without food or water. According to the Libyan channel, the Secretary General and person in charge of running the body, Nasser Soué, confirmed in a special statement to Libya that CAF has given Libyan and the Nigerian associations until the 20th of this month to submit the document related to this file. Soué revealed that the Libyan FA has assigned a specialized lawyer to provide evidence, adding that there may be collusion from some parties within the CAF, but the position of the Libyan Federation is strong. Soué added that the Libyan Federation did not change the course of the plane's landing to Al Barak Airport, and the reason for changing the plane's landing to Al Barak was a decision by the Libyan state, and the sovereignty of the Libyan state must be respected by everyone. Meanwhile, the Super Eagles will return to the country on Monday with gory tales of taking turns to sleep on the bare floor of the airport, with the team manager Patrick Pascal explaining that the toilet had been deliberately seriously messed up by the Libyan officials in anticipation of their arrival. Very, very sad commentary. Let's bring you back home and talk about the MPFL and give you the big story that Sunshine Stars head coach Kennedy Boboye has hinged Wednesday's MPFL match, the 7-3-0 defeat to Kwara United. You call them the Afonjo Warriors on the overgrown pitch of the Kwara Sports Complex in Ilori. According to Sunshine Stars media, the veteran golfer opined that the bushy nature of the pitch prevented his charges from pulling the strings as they did against Rangers International a few days earlier. Boboye, however, conceded that the home team was the better side on the day. Meanwhile, Alalade Wasiu scored in the 30th minute and 38th minute for the Harmony Boys for a 2-0 lead in the first half. Meanwhile, the Owene Wales showed their character after the goals, but their efforts were not successful as Kwara United's goalkeeper Emmanuel Ofori stopped their visitors from reducing the deficit, stopping a penalty before an unmasked Shola Abdulrahim put the ball into the top corner to extend the host lead in the 73rd minute. Meanwhile, Sunshine Stars will next play host to Nasarawa United at the Otumba Dikpo Dino Stadium, Ijebu-Ode, in a Week 8 match of the league. All right, let's go back to our golden flamingos at the Under-17 FIFA World Cup after guiding Flamingos to a 4-1 whitewash of New Zealand in Wednesday's night Group A opener at the Saibao Stadium in Santiago, Dominican Republic. Nigeria coach Bankole looks to secure more points and a more positive result at the 2024 FIFA Women's Under-17 World Cup in Dominican Republic. The emphatic Queens set the African giant at the top of the group. Yes, at the top of the group, which also houses Dominican Republic, Ecuador, and Nigeria came into the tournament with high expectations after their impressive edition at the third place finish at the 2022 edition in India. Speaking in the post-match conference, Bankole said the team was focused on getting more positive results. The Flamingos returned to action in their second group game against Ecuador, scheduled for Saturday, October 19, before facing the Dominican Republic on October 22nd as they push for qualification to the knockout stages. Let you know that Nigeria have participated in every edition of the competition since its inception in 2008, reaching the quarterfinals in 2010, 2012, and 2014. They broke the last 8 jinx in 2022 edition by defeating the USA in the quarterfinals to reach the first ever semi-finals. All right, that's how much we're going to give you for the first few minutes in terms of the hot stories making the rounds. And we'll go for a quick break. When we return from the break, we'll be talking boxing with lots of uppercuts. Stay with us.
It's time for sports' biggest moments on global television. The headlines, scores, breaking news, and commentaries on sporty events. Talking with the biggest players, strikers, and about the slam dunks and goals, stunning saves, near misses, and upsets. Let's talk about the greatest home runs, comebacks, knockdowns, and victories. Talk Sports with the King of Sports, Anthony Momodu. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Don't miss out.
Oh, that goal! Beautiful work from the wingers!
All right, I want you to remember this name, Obisia Golden Gloves Nwapa, born in 19 May 1950 in Lagos, is a Nigerian professional light and light welterweight boxer of the 1970s, 1980s, and 1990s, who won Nigerian lightweight title, also won the African Boxing Union light welterweight title and the Commonwealth lightweight title, and was the challenger for the World Boxing Council light welterweight title against Sal Mambi. His professional fighting weight varied from 135 kilograms, 61 kilograms, and more. All right, that time, make you welcome welcome to the sport. We'll be talking for the next 10, 15, and if possible, 20 minutes. We're going to be talking boxing as we look at the Nigerian Boxing Federation leadership crisis. The update is what we're about to give to you, and I have in the live studio the man who is the interim president of the Nigerian Boxing Federation. Is no other person but Azania Omo Agege is live in the studio, and I'm protecting myself from some uppercuts. Good morning. Thanks for joining me in the studios.
Good morning, my brother. How are you doing?
Doing great.
Yes.
All right, let's look at Nigerian Boxing Federation. We know they've been in all sorts of crisis, and especially with the bad outing at the dismal outing at the last Olympics in Paris. Give us an update as regards what's happening in terms of the leadership now. I know you were the interim, or you're still the interim president. Is there a way forward?
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, like you rightly said, I've been here a few times regarding this issue. And also, a few weeks ago, my attorneys, that's my lawyers, we got together and we wrote a letter to the ministry telling them to actually look into the matter. If not, we weigh my other options. But so far, things have been going very well. The ministry is actually looking into the issue. I've been there a few days ago to discuss the issue, and things are going very well.
Is the minister involved, and
yeah,
is Roman agreeing to step aside now?
When I first read the letter, it was milited to the proper channels, and where it is right now is somebody who could take a decision about the issue. So I've been there, presented my case, presented my documents, and they will go through it, but so far it's looking good. This is not something that could be hidden under the table. Tenureship is something that is basic. If you're coming to do something, if you're elected in a position, it's term limited, which is 4 years. The former president, by the name of President General Minima, who I respect so much, he's been there since 2010, and this is 2024. This is 14 years. He's allowed to do 3 terms.
And that would have been
for 4 years. And that 3 terms from 2010, you do the math yourself. From 2010 to now, which is 2024, his 3 tenures is supposed to be 12 years.
Yes.
He's exceeded
more than,
he has over exceeded it. You understand? So stepping down now, it shouldn't be a problem. You know, it was there from the time of good luck Jonathan, to Buhari, now to President Tinubu, Asiwaju. So he's the only one now that can be the president. You understand? Come on now, you know, it's not proper. You understand? I think he should just step aside.
Are they likely to be sanctions on Minima? The fact that he over-exceeded his time frame and even making it difficult for the next man to come in as such, putting the sport in disrepute?
Well, sanctions have already been placed. Don't forget, we're a boxing federation now, and we also belong to an international body. Yeah. And the international body is IBA, which is International Boxing Association.
Yeah.
I'm the vice president and the only vice president to Jinamina before this issue came up. And I reported the issue to the international body, letting them know that his tenure was up, but he doesn't want to leave. And they wrote a letter to him to please answer if this is true or not. He refused to answer. They wrote again to him. He refused, and he was suspended from boxing. He was suspended on the 10th of November last year.
But has General Mina, has he come out to say this is the reason why I don't want to step aside?
To be very honest with you, I've not really heard from him in a while. These are all personal issues. I think he hasn't come out to say that, but he's not fully involved right now in boxing. So I think the man himself wants to just go rest, you know. But the politics is played from inside the board itself, between the secretary and some board members. You know, they don't. They're not too comfortable maybe with me being at the head of every of the affairs, you understand, because of some now politics things.
Are they scared that when you come in, there's going to be a sweep of the entire board and probably reconstitution of the board? Is that where
No, I don't.
The concern is
I don't have such powers.
Powers,
The
okay.
board members were all elected, and they were elected to a certain term. It's only the secretary that comes on.
Has their term also elapsed?
No, their term will be elapsing shortly. The reason why Minima's tenure came to this extent was that the first time he came on board for his 4-year tenure, into 2 years of that 4 years, they impeached their then president. Then Minima came in. You see, if he had come in as an appointment or as an interim president, we won't be going through this right now. But when they impeached that president, an election was conducted there. Immediately.
And he
emerged. So that's elective. So he was elected in that position. And the constitution says you can be there for 12 years with or without a break in an elective capacity.
Okay. So it was right for him to have gone 12 years in a stretch.
Thank you. That's why that's 2 years gap you're seeing right. Like now, I just left as the interim president of the international body of the African Boxing Confederation. When we came in for a 4-year tenure, I'm a director there, but the president who was there at that time, he was also asked to step down 2 years into his tenure. And immediately he stepped down, I became interim and conducted a congress about 2 months later where an election was conducted. Right now we have a president there called President Iyasu from Ethiopia. He's only going to be doing 2 years to complete
the other format.
The 4 years. He's not going to be coming here to start a new 4-year term. No.
But would he have the right to stand for re-election?
Of course he has the right to stand for re-election. I will encourage him to stand for re-election because he's doing very well.
All right, let's move. We've got another talking point which has to do with the IOC versus IBA rift. You talked about Nigeria being a member of the International Boxing Association. We know that IOC had some issues, technically trying to force the federation to be part of the IBA, even when the IBA had issues and was suspended by the IOC at a point. Can you clarify what the rift is about? Is it as regards that gender issue, or what's the big issue here?
The big issue is this. We have an egocentric president from the IOC who wants to just command everybody. And my president...
Does he have the right?
That's what I'm saying right now. Maybe he thinks he has the right, but we don't think he has such rights. My president, President Umar Kremlev from Russia, is the president of the IBA. We went for an election in Turkey. And in that election, my president emerged as the president then. So there was a disgruntled person who contested against him that went and set up his own other federation called World Boxing.
Okay.
Now, World Boxing is in existence right now with about 20 countries there. So my president right now is not in the good books of the president of the IOC, who happens to be Thomas Bach.
Well, yeah,
Thomas Bach is putting... Thomas Bach is just putting all kinds of conditions to the IBA, which the IBA met in terms of transparency and the rest of them. But he's not willing to honor that. And he's like trying to force my president to step down and then let somebody else take over the IBA, which my president is not willing to do. He was elected genuinely and he has to be there. So Thomas Bach now, he's leaving in next year, I think in March or so. They're going to be conducting an election. But he's trying to coerce the national boxing federations from different countries through the national Olympic committees in the different in the countries to force them to leave the IBA, the boxers, to go join another world body, which is not done. My brother, listen, Nigeria, this topic has to be really deliberated on and looked into deeply by the Nigerian government itself. We have about 3,000 to 4,000 boxers in Nigeria, okay? And mind you, 80% of our boxers are from the streets. Just a few of them in universities, and some of them working for the army, road safety, immigration and customs, and the rest of them. So those ones, they have a job. These other boxers are fighting for a living. They need to feed. They need to take care of their families. You understand? Now, their goal definitely is to go to the Olympics. But how many out of 3,000 boxers will go to the Olympics? Just 2 or 3. So you want them to wait every 4 years just to go to the Olympics? What would they be doing in between that time? You understand? They need competitions, and the IBA has been coming up with competitions by quarterly for these people to participate, where they win prize money. You understand? Recently, like the last competition went for about 5 Nigerian boxers won prize money. Just recently now, you understand? And the prize money is like maybe $20,000, $15,000. That's a lot of money right now if you change it into Naira. That will go a long way for the boxer. So the IOC is now forcing these boxers now through the NOC to go join another boxing association where that association right now, as we speak, is not even recognized by the IOC. You understand? So are they going to wait for recognition of that federation before the boxers start benefiting? And what are they going to be benefiting? You understand? Now, if these boxers are out of work, if you take them away from IBA, what do you think they will do? Crime rate will increase. They will go on the streets, frustration, mental health issues. Maybe some of them commit suicide. What are they trying to do? These are employees. It's like your staff. Can they just force you to go to it's not right. They should really look into this, because these boxers are going to leave them vulnerable, doing nothing. And not all of them can go pro either. You understand? So it's a topic, and there should be a Congress. You don't just say...
to make that decision.
Yeah, you don't just take a decision, 2-3 persons saying, I'm going to this federation. You call a Congress. Call all the boxers. Call all the referees. Call all the coaches. Put this in front of them. Present the IBA, what they have, the manifesto. Present the World Boxing one. Let them choose where they want to go to. Don't force them to go there.
Can the arbitration, court for arbitration for sports, can they be dragged into this matter as a way to stop Batch from what he's doing?
Yes, actually, the IBA has gone to court on this. And it's not just there for the IBA too. I think the African Boxing Confederation should also talk to the national federations to actually come as one. Let them all go as one class action suit against Batch and stop this man with his Hitler policies. It's wrong.
Well, let's look at this move. Let's move on to talking about one of Nigeria's legends, Bisi Awankpa, who is currently in a sorry situation. How would you judge the effort of the NBF in trying to assist former heroes? For instance, Bisi Awankpa, who currently is on a wheelchair. Why are Nigerian boxers or Nigerian sportsmen not always looked after serving the country? For Awankpa that has served for decades as an athlete and later on as a coach.
My brother, this is a very touching issue for me. You understand? It's so sad. Like we just discussed right now about the Olympics and the rest of them. Coach Bisi Awankpa was an Olympian. Was a very good coach, trained a lot of boxers. Now he's in dire need. Is the NOC there for him? You want your boxers to go to the Olympics to get the glory for the nation. They've been there. Now they've done for you. What have you done for them? He has dementia. He's in a wheelchair right now. He's not crying out for anybody to support him, but your own gut feelings, you know that this man needs help.
Yeah, I remember interviewing him in Lagos at the National Stadium several times. He was always willing. Was still serving the country even at his old age and trying to churn out great boxers.
This man has served the country. Now the country should serve him. They should take care of him at least, you understand? It's so sad. You're shouting every day, you want people to go to the Olympics, boxers or whatever. We've had about 6-7 boxers who are Olympians. You can't point for one to one right now that is doing extremely well. So what is the gain? You understand? Look at Jerry Okorodudu. Died wretched. Even in the hospital where he died, they seized his corpse for a while because the bills could not be paid. That was another Olympian.
But shouldn't the federation, Nigerian Boxing Federation, are they not supposed to have done something for Jerry Okorodudu, for instance, and even the state FA? I know he's from Edo State.
My brother, you've done very well. You've asked a very good question. No, Jeremiah Okorodudu is from
Delta State.
He's an honorable man. You understand? My federation did not do well in terms of this too. And that time, President Minima was there. You understand? Personally, if I was in my own capacity, I did something which I'm not. So you understand, I did something. I contributed
For,
for
Jerry,
him.
yeah.
Yes, in my own little capacity. But as a federation, what did they do? What did President Minima do at that time to help this man?
Was he unaware?
He was aware. The secretary was aware. I was talking to the secretary that period. You understand? I was talking to the secretary when I found out. I had to send somebody to go to the hospital. I spoke to him a day before he died. You understand? I spoke to him a day before he died. It's just so sad. You understand? Listen, we just have to do well for our athletes. You understand? And then also at least have insurance. Like insurance,
Health insurance.
Yes, for these athletes, you understand? They go there, fight for you. Let them at least have insurance somewhere, just in case of anything. Insurance could step in and at least assist,
subsidize even the bills.
the bills that that are going to come out from the treatment. Just look at last week too. We had our own legendary goalkeeper.
Yeah,
also from Delta State, from Saple.
The flying cat.
The flying cat, I know some people did a lot for him too. I think Femi Otedola at one time it's helped out, But, we're not just doing enough for our sportsmen. It's sad.
For Obisha the Golden Gloves, is there something that can be done now that you're pushing for this movement? If peradventure everything works out, what can be done for the Golden Gloves?
It needs help, and at least
the fact that he's suffering dementia, it's
a very serious issue.
Yeah.
Mental health too is a very, very serious issue.
Because of the kind of sports.
Yeah, not really the kind of sports. If you go, let's not go into that. Don't.
No, because boxing.
Anybody could have anything. It's not a boxing.
They always accuse that footballers and boxers, because the hit they get on the head. Footballers, the hitting of the ball. At a point, you remember they stopped a lot of balls on the head because of concussions. The weight of the ball. It also made FIFA talk about reducing the weight of footballs. And so for boxers, naturally, they get punches and it's one of the leading causes for dementia.
Dementia is a common cause for everybody. Anybody could get dementia. Fine, I understand what you're trying to say. Yeah. But let me tell you something. Boxing is one of the most controlled sports in the world.
They're very brutal.
Not brutal in the sense that you're seeing punches. That's why you see they fight according to their weight categories. So that punching power can absorb it. They can absorb it. And if I tell you this, go to statistics and see. There are more footballers that have died on the pitch than boxers.
But doesn't make boxing less dangerous?
All sports are dangerous. As long as they have the contact in the sport, it's dangerous. Rugby is very dangerous. American football is very dangerous.
I understand you differently boxing.
Your WWE that you watch every day is very dangerous. You have more WWE wrestlers that died than boxers. From the history of boxing, if I tell you something, right, you believe this. From the history of boxing, I don't think you don't even have up to 150 boxers that have died in the ring, but you have about 800 footballers that have died.
No.
Let's go there.
It's not up to 800.
Go and check. Do your statistics.
It's not up to 800.
How many?
Accused, we know Vivian for.
How many of you that have died?
We can talk about 3, 4. But not 800 on the pitch. You only see Guilo.
Heart falling down. Don't go there, my brother. Now you talk about Muhammad Ali talking. Muhammad Ali has Parkinson's disease. Is Parkinson's just attributed to boxing? No. Ronald Reagan had Parkinson's disease. Was he a boxer?
But we know that the heat on the head is still part of it.
It wasn't a doctor. Did they tell you that he died? That Parkinson's, he got
yes, it was mentioned as part of the causes.
As parts?
Yes.
Did they tell that was the main cause of the disease?
Not the main, but part of it.
No problem. How many boxers you know that have Parkinson's disease?
We know the greatest. The greatest has
a great sport. Boxing is one of the safest sports in the world.
All right. So before let's go for a very quick break. When we return back from the break, we'll talk more boxing, and this time no more uppercuts.
has it. It's in the back.
It's time for sports' biggest moments on global television. The headlines, scores, breaking news, and commentaries on sporty events. Talking with the biggest players, strikers, and about the slam dunks and goals, stunning saves, near misses, and upsets. Let's talk about the greatest home runs, comebacks, knockdowns, and victories. Talk Sports with the King of Sports, Anthony Momodu. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Don't miss out.
Oh, that goal. Beautiful work from the wingers.
All right, welcome back from the break. You're still watching Talk Sports, and we're heading to Algeria, where the big story is about a woman who was amazing during the last Olympics, her name Khelif, who won by a unanimous decision, the first Algerian woman to earn an Olympic boxing title, the female boxer who was thrown into the center of a gender dispute at the Paris Games in crushing fashion, and her newfound devotees into delirium with her performance. Khelif, who was a silver medalist at the 2022 World Championship, and the Taiwan boxer Lin Yu-Thing had been in the spotlight as part of the gender dispute in Paris. These had dominated the headlines and had been the subject of much discussion on social media platforms. But Khelif, who won by unanimous decision, is the first Algerian woman to earn Olympic boxing title, and she's also the first boxer in her country to claim the gold medal since Hocine Sultani at the Atlanta Games in 1996. Women's boxing, though, has been in the Olympics since London 2012. But Khelif, however, insists she was born a woman and has been living as such. It really created a lot of dispute, and Bach also got into the defense of boxing. For you, do you think it was fair to allow her to box at the Olympics?
You see, this is a very controversial issue.
Because I know I think there's a picture of you and her.
Yes, that was in Senegal.
So that's indicted too.
Yes. That was in Senegal,
okay.
When they went for the Olympic qualifications, Olympic qualifiers.
So you saw her in person?
Yeah, I know her personally. I know her, I saw her in person. And that's...
Okay, that's you.
Yeah,
so is she truly a woman?
Well, I'm not in her body, but
you
she
saw
claims
her
to be a woman.
Did she have the features of a woman?
I wouldn't know that either, because I don't know anything about her internal body, whether she has the features of a woman. But she does look like a man when I look at her. But obviously she says she's a woman. So you have to go medically. It's only medically that you could prove whether she was a woman or not. And you see, this competition in Senegal, where you look at the picture right now, like I told you, it was the Olympics qualifier. So that was controlled by the IOC and the...
Wasn't there a test?
There was a... Nah, I'm getting to that. You see, the lady himself, the Iman herself, she was also an IBA boxer, fighting under the IBA rules. And when she fought under the IBA rules, she wasn't allowed to fight because the test that the IBA did on her came out that her chromosomes were a bit higher than that of a woman, tilting towards a man. So the IBA rejected her fighting under the IBA rules. And twice she was banned. But for some reason, the IOC sees it differently and allowed her fight for the Olympics, since they control the Olympics. The IOC is in charge of the Olympics, the Commonwealth Games, and the championships of continental championships. So you see, so that's what happened, you understand? And that also brought a big clash too between the IBA and yes, because when this happened, the girls that were beaten by Imam Khalif,
Yeah.
the IB themselves donated money to the girls
To compensate them.
because they knew they were it wasn't a fair fight. You understand? So now an IBA right now is also preaching, and the IOC is also preaching transgender to be allowed into boxing. My brother, I have nothing against anybody who's a transgender, but you see, we're talking about sports here. Now we have women boxers too from Nigeria. How will they feel having an opponent who is a transgender fighting them? Is that fair? It's not fair. You understand? And this is what the IOC is forcing us into right now, to get ourselves into their own way of thinking. To come on, Africans, we have to really look inwards and see we have our own cultures too and our own rules. Just because we are trying to compete for some medal or so, we should also have our dignity and fight for what we stand for itself. And that's what IBA has been doing. If IOC wants to bring transgender into boxing, let them have their own transgender competitions amongst themselves, rather than forcing them to fight with the normal male and female. I just think that would be the best. You understand?
Okay, so looking at the way it's going now, do you think the International African Boxing Body will be able to resist what the IOC is trying to push?
So far, so good. They've been doing that. The international body, as we speak, that's the IBA, they have about 190 countries that are still with them. This new body, World Boxing, only has 20 countries.
Yeah.
And what I don't want to speculate, because Thomas Bach has not really said the federation he is supporting. If we go by my hunch, I don't really want to say anything, not until it comes out. He said he will make his decision in January and tell the national federations which federation or association the boxing to handle boxing Olympics that he's going to be supporting. So we'll wait till that time. I don't want to speculate. It might not be any of these two, but as we speak, the IBA has been suspended and the other World Boxing has not been recognized. So what boxing is to do is but you see, the IOC is trying to force federations to move people into this world boxing because the only other association available right now, which is wrong. Very, very wrong. It's against the rules. You cannot coerce federations to do this. You see, and the IOC, they've had some discriminatory policies too. You see, with the IBA, we have about 14 weight categories for boxers, right? Okay. And anytime there's a competition, those 14 weight categories go for the competition. Now, when you come to your Olympics itself, just Olympic qualifiers, they will only give you about 7 or 8 weight categories. What happens to the other weight categories? These are boxers who have been fighting in that weight category since. Are you saying they can't go to the Olympics? You're discriminating against them then. Because what you're doing right now, you're making them do two things. If they were in a higher weight, you force them to drop down. And dropping, they could kill them. If they're in a lower weight, you're forcing them to come up. It could kill them. Yeah. That's very wrong. What kind of policy is that? Then the slots for Africa has been reduced. But slots for European countries are higher. So it makes it very difficult for you to have to qualify from Africa to go there. That's why you see Africans are not doing very well in the Olympics. How many of them do you see winning? Those are discriminatory policies. It's very wrong.
At world congresses, doesn't the African body put forward this argument as regards these discrepancies in allocation of slots and the categories?
Yeah, very good question. When I was there as an interim, I came up with such a thing, and I wrote a letter to Anoka letting them know about these discrepancies, and they should try to do something, which they agreed they would try to do. But my tenureship wasn't that long, and the new president is there right now. I'm sure he will do something. We're having too many problems right now in the FBC, but we're trying to get ourselves back together and just stand as one and fight for one cause. You understand? But I'm sure we'll all come together, fight for these boxers, for the IOC issue, and we'll take it from there.
All right, before I let you go, let's talk about, I know you're a boxing, that's your forte, but a little bit about what played out between Nigeria and Libya. For you, what's your expectation on the final day? What do you expect CAF to come up with? Now they've asked Libya to send in their own documents to make their own defense. What's your expectations from CAF?
First of all, that's a very sad situation. It's very inhumane, the treatment that was given to the Nigerian Super Eagles in Libya. Very, very sad. It's not called for. It's just unacceptable. You don't keep people stuck in the airport for 12 hours without no food and water. What do you call, even in war times, they give people food and water. They have that access. Yes. And I just heard you talking about the toilets all messed up.
Yes.
Yeah. These are professional boxers who I could imagine when I saw them sleep on the chairs. I was like, what is this? What's going on? How can Libya do such a thing? They kept on talking about how they were treated in Nigeria. To the best of my knowledge, I made my own inquiries too. They weren't treated as the way they said they were treated. You understand? They wanted to do everything by themselves.
Yeah.
You understand? So Nigeria tried to help, but they wanted to do everything by themselves. They wanted to pay for their own transportation and do what they want. But in this case, you heard from the pilot. The pilot's speech says it all. He's also an Arab.
Yeah, true.
For him telling you that.
A Tunisian.
Yes, yeah. It's a Tunisian too. You understand? Just imagine if, look at the fuel situation. Yeah. What if they could not even land? Are you telling that today Nigeria would have been in a sorrow mood? Can you just imagine that? You know, playing with people's lives. I just don't know the response the Libyan government wants to say. Because I'm hearing that the FA
it was a state decision.
So important. What state decision at that time of the night or whatever time they landed? Were they coming to? Was there war going on? Or somebody coming to blast them up or something? It's just uncalled for. That's all pretense. You understand? It's wrong.
So, will you be expecting sanctions from CAF, and or do you think CAF will want to play safe in order not to, offend the Arab world and decide to play safe? And also put into perspective, Mosepe being from South Africa, being the man in charge. Do you think Nigeria has got a say?
He's a very intelligent man. This never playing safe. He has to call it the way he sees it. I don't know the figures, I don't know the facts before him, but I'm sure he will come with a very good decision. And if there's anything wrong in whatever procedural misguidance or something from whatever happened, I'm sure he will take a proper action and they'll be sanctioned, for sure.
All right, let's see how that is going to pan out. All right, let's give you some quick stories before we call it a wrap on today's edition. Let's quickly tell you that the shortlist for the prestigious Golden Boy Award has been revealed, with English football well represented in the race to be named the best young star in the men's game. The Golden Boy Award is handed out to the best young men's player aged 21 or below, currently in a top league on the continent, as voted for by a selected media outlet from across Europe from the shortlist of 20. It is an award that has been handed out to the likes of Wayne Rooney, Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappe over its 20-year history, with England superstar Jude Bellingham the current holder of the title. In total, English players have won the award on 3 occasions. Raheem Sterling, the other 3 Lion Star to have done that as back as 2014, but judging by the most recent shortlist, 2024 could see the number increase. This year, Adam Walton, who had a breakout year at Crystal Palace, is joined by Kobe Manu of Manchester United, Jimmy Brian Gittins of Borussia Dortmund, and Rico Lewis of Manchester City among those being nominated. Already the nominees for the 2024, we've got others as Lamine Yamal of Barcelona, Yao Neves of Paris Saint-Germain, Warren Zaïre-Emery of Paris Saint-Germain, Alexandre Garnacho of Manchester United. We've got Paul Kubasi of Barcelona, Savio of Man City, Rico Lewis of Man City, Alexander Pavlovic of Bayern Munich, and Kobe Manu of Manchester United still there. We've got Jorel Hato of Ajax, and Lenny Yoro of Manchester United is in the lineup, and not forgetting Kenan Yildiz of Juventus making the lineup of players. So those are some of the players that are being marked for the Golden Boy Award. I wish we can see the list on the screen. Yes, that's the list of nominees and players, the pictures there. And also, just to let you know that past winners were in 2003, started with Rafael van der Vaart of Ajax. In 2004 was Wayne Rooney of Manchester and Everton. In 2005 had Lionel Messi. 2006 had Cesc Fabregas of Arsenal. Sergio Aguero of Atletico Madrid was the winner in 2007. 2008 came Anderson of Manchester United. And in 2009, we had Alexandre Pato of AC Milan. In 2010, we have Mario Balotelli winning that. Then he was with Inter and Man City. In 2011, we had Mario Götze, who scored the winning goal for Germany at the World Cup final. Isco won it for Malaga in 2012, and in 2013 it was Paul Pogba of France and Juventus. And in 2014, it was Raheem Sterling of Liverpool, Anthony Martial of Manchester United, and Monaco won it in 2015. And in 2016, it was Renato Sanchez. 2017 was Kylian Mbappe, and 2018 you have Matthijs de Ligt, currently of Man U, formerly of Ajax, and we've got João Felix of Benfica winning it in 2019. Erling Haaland won it in 2020. 2021, we had Pedri of Barcelona winning it, and in 2022, it was Gavi of Barcelona, and 2023 was Jude Bellingham. So it tells you great players have won this award. The roll call shows consistency that these players that won it ended up becoming superstar players, and so it gives this Golden Boy award some bit of credibility.
Yes, it does, and all thanks to Man U. I'm a big Man U fan. I'm happy to see you calling all the Man U names coming up, even the new ones that have been selected. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm happy to see, even though they're not doing very well for now, but I'm happy to see that at least most of their soccer players have been.
But for you, for 2024, who do you think deserves to win the 2024 edition?
From the list, I'm just saying there. Well,
what's Yamal of Barcelona?
Very good, very good. He's one of the top ones there. Kobe is playing well. Yeah, Kobe is playing well. All of them are good, to be very honest with you. All of them are good. I look at these names. They are really good, though. It's a hard call.
But the fact that Spain had won lots of trophies this period with their young team, is it possibility it's going to sway towards, the Spanish players?
Well, it was Spanish, man. Listen. This list you're saying is going to be a very tight one. I won't lie to you. It's going to be a very tight one. They are all good there. You understand? They are all good.
All right, so we'll see who's going to win the Golden Boy award. All right, while we do that, let's just take one last story before we call it a wrap on today's edition. Just to let you know that the Football Association are on collision course with top-flight clubs over plans for two lucrative summer England friendlies in the USA. Talks are on the way for potential games against America and either Mexico or Canada, who are also co-hosting the World Cup in 2026 during the June international window, which will be new head coach Thomas Tuchel's second camp in charge. The clash against the USA would see Tuchel face former Chelsea manager Mauricio Pochettino. As things stand, the matches have been penciled in but are not confirmed owing to the World Cup qualifying draw in Zurich in December, which will determine whether England's fixture timetable would allow time for friendlies. All right, let's go to a wrap now with your final word in terms of boxing fans in Nigeria. What should they be expected?
Well, for now, there's a good thing going on. Right, at least boxing is boxers are still being kept busy. There's a new boxing league from a guy called Amadu. He's running a league from Utateku Boxing Club, and he's doing extremely well, keeping boxers busy together while awaiting whatever decision that comes up. So for boxing, I still see very big progress in Nigeria, especially. We've always been there. Boxers have always we've always had good boxers, okay. And I'm not sure you're also aware too that the first medal that ever came from the Olympics came from boxing. Oh. So definitely that's our strength. Football is just something new. If I tell you, boxing before used to sell out stadiums. Okay. But Obisia, you mentioned, Obisia himself was selling out the Surulere Stadium just for a fight at one time. Yeah.
All right, so that's how we're going to call it a wrap. I want to say a big thank you to the interim president of the Nigerian Boxing Federation. He's not that person, but Azania Omo Agege, as we hope and wish him the very best. That hopefully next time when he's here, he will be the authentic, substantive president of the Nigerian Boxing Federation. Thank you very much for joining us in the studio.
Amen to that prayer.
All right, so that's how we call it a wrap on today's edition of the program Talk Sports on Global Television. My name is Anthony Momodu, the King of Sports. Let's do this again tomorrow. Good morning.